Well guys, it's about 1 p.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd. The old dude's down here on the shop project again. We've got our sheathing pretty much finished up. We're in the process now of getting ready to straight line the walls, brace them in straight so we can start putting trusses on. I showed the trusses the other day in my last video. Truss has been here for about a week now. Still got plenty of snow around, but we're able to work around that. Today's a little bit nicer day than it has been, but not what you'd really call a great day. We got a lot of overcast up there. It's pretty high overcast, blocking the sun out, just barely showing through. Got a light breeze going today. Temperature's supposed to be some place around about 35 or so. So it's a workable day for us. Like I said, we're setting these trusses up. I explained in the last video how this peak truss goes on top of the main truss. They had to do that in order to be able to haul them. They're just too big to haul them down the highway. And what we're looking at here, there's a gap in between. You can see the blocks in there. The top truss has to be spaced up onto the top of some 2x4 longerons, speaking in aircraft terms, that run down the length of the roof, front to back, and there will be 2x4s like this one right here. They will slip in there and nail down to brace the top of that. There'll be 5 rows of those running the full length of the building, front to back. Now this is the end gable truss, and we're setting it up for the south end. In order to get that set up, we could set that up and try to put it in place up there, but from the ground up to the peak is going to be between 29 and 30 feet up to the peak from the ground. And from the peak right here at the top of the roof down to the eave of the roof is going to be another about 29 feet, give or take a couple of inches. So in order to get that thing up there and not have to worry about working out on the end of it, we're going to put this truss all together in one complete unit, partially sheeting it, put the top piece on. That's why we've got spacer blocks in here in between the two trusses. We've made that so we can slide the 2x4 braces in there and then nail them in. Then we're going to take the 7/16 OSB sheeting board and we're going to sheet the face of this out here. You can see right there, I hope you can see the blue line. We're going to bring the OSB board down and space it on to that 2x4 so that there's room to splice the sheeting below it. And then that will come up here within 2 foot of the top, and then we'll finish sheeting that out. Once that's on, we've got our overhangs on the end of the roof, which are going to be out here up above, or sticking out from the end of that truss. The gable truss would be 16 inches out from the end of the gable. So we're building ladder boxes, 2x4s with 2x4 spacers in between, and we'll fasten that on the outside of the truss in order to have that all in place when it gets up there. Then we won't be trying to hang out on the end of that truss all the way up there in the air, trying to fasten that stuff together. That's where we're at today. Once we get this end gable truss assembled, we'll take the crane over there and hoist it up into place, and then we'll have a start on the south end of the building. Being that thing is up there so high in the air, it's really taking some effort to put it together, but we'll get it. We just need to get it done before we get our windstorms. Typically in March, especially between the 15th of February or so in March, we usually get some pretty good windstorms. We want to have this thing all sheeted out and braced up. These trusses will get a lot of bracing done to them. It calls for a lot of interior bracing as well as the longeron top bracings running down the flat top of these trusses. And I'm hoping that this thing will go together and not be too big of a headache to try to put together. This truss from the peak down to the floorboard, the floor framing down there is 15 foot. So even after we get up on top of that 16-foot wall, the peak will be another 15 foot above that. It makes it really difficult. Even this lift we've got, while it will go up there and get us up to the at least 18 feet, it's going to be real difficult to get up from there. So we need to do as much preparation as we can. Once we get the end started and start getting the other trusses in there so that we can put the longerons in there, then we'll be able to get on top of those longerons and walk across the top of these trusses to work from there up. That's a little over 4 foot from the top of those longerons up to the peak of the roof, which isn't that bad once you get some way to support yourself up there. But that's where we're at on this project for right now. Like I say, this is the 23rd day of January. We're hoping that by the first part of the week we'll have these all up in place, but it's going to take a lot of bracing. So we'll be putting them up and then bracing the heck out of them to keep them up in place as we move down through. We don't want these things folding over on us and dumping down onto somebody or dumping us off of the top of the wall or whatever up there. Starting out is going to be real fun because you're only going to have one of them up there on the end wall to begin with. So that's going to have to be braced up there pretty well, but the problem is you can't put a lot of bracing in place where you've got to go ahead and put the other trusses at. It's kind of a counter defeating situation. One way you got to have it braced and the other way the braces are in the way, so it takes a lot of effort. We'll get it. This is going to be real nice when we get it up there, but it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. We'll just have to work at it as we go. Thanks for dropping by, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.